Alright, cool. So we'll do the weekly outlook for what I expect going into the new week for majors and um, exotics, and we'll go over some commodities as well. Cool. So if we start off on DXY on a weekly time frame, we've taken out this high time frame external draw, right? So I was anticipating price to come for some internal liquidity, and after this weekly candle closure, the draw on liquidity for me was this weekly fair value gap, right? And it's basically this BPR inversion fair value gap, this weekly fair value gap, and on a daily we have this untapped daily fair value gap as well inside of the weekly fair value gap. So that was my draw on liquidity heading into the new week. On Monday, what I wanted to see was that because we were already in bearish order flow on a 4-hour time frame, I wanted to see if price could come into this fair value gap and sell off, and then take out this low and then this low as well, which is the weekly fair value gap. So that was my narrative headed into the new week, and we did get that right. We came into the 4-hour fair value gap, displaced lower, took out this daily low, which is the previous week low, and then we pretty much reversed and went back higher, right? So closure above this 4-hour fair value gap was the confirmation that we were no longer bearish for me, right? Because we've had a previous week low sweep, and we're disrespecting a bearish PD array inside a bearish order flow, and then we have all these high time frame trendline highs inside of bullish high time frame order flow. And yeah, at this point, this is when I decided, okay, we're likely gonna front run this weekly fair value gap here, which was this low, and we're probably gonna go higher after sweeping this previous week low here, and that's what happened, right? And now we've taken out the previous week low, and we had a very bullish weekly candle closure. So in my opinion, we should anticipate price to come for these highs next, and then if we get a closure above the range highs, then the monthly fair value gap is still my high time frame draw on liquidity. So that's my anticipation for DXY. And if you look at the economic calendar for this week, a very stacked week. Also new monthly candle open as well. So on Wednesdays the monthly candle open, right? So if we close above these down close candles, this becomes a bullish order block, and if we confirm the bullish order block on a monthly time frame, I do think, and preferably we close above this high as well, I do think there is a good chance we come for this monthly fair value gap, which is still my high time frame draw on liquidity. So we'll see. We will see. But well, again, this week is stacked, so we could just reverse this whole bullishness, right? If you look at the economic calendar, Powell speaks on Monday, jolts on Tuesday, core retail sales on Wednesday, and non-farm employment change. That's not the NFP change, but it's like a minor NFP. Thursday, unemployment claims, and then Friday's the actual NFP. So a lot of news this week, pretty much every day red folder news. So main focus would be early in the week, right? But because we built up so much trendline liquidity, there's not really a clear higher time frame key level, which I would use as a narrative to look for longs. The only thing I see here is this daily fair value gap, but because of how bullish the Friday candle closed, I'm not sure if we'll come back for this daily fair value gap. We're gonna have to see. But yeah, maybe if maybe Powell news gives like a wick and takes out some of these lows, and then we see a recovery and push higher, that could be a setup to look for longs into these highs. But for now, I don't really see too much on this on the hourly or 4-hour time frame here. But yeah, that's the bias for DXY. I'm bullish, and we still have the monthly fair value gap as a draw on liquidity, previous week low sweep, bullish candle closure. So yeah, Euro, if you look at Euro, we've had this monthly deviation, and we've displaced lower, and now if you look at Euro, right, we have these high time frame equal lows, 1, 2, 3, and then we got the high time frame draw and liquidity still intact. So I did take a swing short, right, because I did say once we spread the previous week low and closed above this 4-hour fair value gap, it invalidated my bearish bias on DXY, and same with Euro. Once we formed this 4-hour inversion after taking out this previous week high, that was my confirmation that we were bearish, right? And we have all of these trendline liquidity lows inside of higher time frame bearish order flow, and we still have this low to draw on liquidity. So and we did have this very bearish weekly candle closure as well after sweeping the previous week high. So yeah, in my opinion, this fair value gap is likely going to get left open. Maybe at some point we'll come and revisit it, but I do think because we're high time frame bearish order flow, we're just going to continue lower from this sweep and take out this low and then this high time frame draw, the July lows. So yeah. Right now, Euro is also the weaker pair, so we have had some minus sweeps on the 4-hour time frame, but we do have a very small daily imbalance. So price could, because Euro is currently the weaker pair compared to Pound, right? Pound had the large expansion on Friday compared to Euro. We could see Euro coming back for the previous day high into this small daily fair value gap, and then giving a push lower, right? Taking maybe some of these trendline highs out and then selling off. But yeah, for now, not really a clear narrative. I don't really like the fact that we have left equal highs here, but because again we have taken the previous weekly high, and also if you use this candle range, right, you know, the CRT tap traders, is a good concept, and in this scenario this is a perfect way to apply it, right? So we have this Thursday candle range, and we have the Thursday candle range highs, and then the Thursday candle range lows. We sweep the Thursday candle range highs, and for 3 days straight we failed to close above the Thursday candle range highs, and then eventually we get this sell-off, right? We take out the previous day high, close below, form this bearish order block, and then the next day is a continuation candles. So if we use this Thursday candle range, taking out the range highs, close back inside of the range with displacement, or slightly next the range lows. And if you use the context that is in line with the high time frame order flow, and we do have high time frame equal lows, then this is also a very high probability play to anticipate lower at this point. So yeah, that's the bias on Euro. Same with Pound. Again, Pound left pretty much a perfect self equal highs here, but again, same concept, right? We have the Thursday range highs, Thursday range lows, Thursday range highs, deviation of the range highs, close back in the range, form the bearish order block, and then the next day continuation sells off, inverses 4-hour fair value gap, and then we use this inversion to sell off and take out all of these high time frame lows here, and then we also have this low, and in the context of this high time frame market maker sell model, this low, and we have these equal lows as well on the higher time frames for Pound. So I do think after this very bearish weekly candle closure on Pound, we should see continuation next week and sell off into these lows, and then potentially this low as well. And the Euro Pound, for the sake of my Euro shorts, I do hope that we go lower, right? We have this daily imbalance, and then we have these higher time frame equal highs, and then we have these this higher time frame equal low. We do have a sweep of these lows, but because of how minor the sweep is, I don't really think these lows would hold, right? But in my opinion, I do think we will see lower Pound Euro GBP, right? And we have this weekly fair value gap. So if we run this high into the weekly fair value gap, I want to see if we can sell off from here and go for all of these lows next. If not, then I do think there's a chance that we will come back for these highs again, because again, these are higher time frame equal highs as well. but I think it makes more sense to, because the higher time frame order flow is, you consider it somewhat bearish, even though we're in a range. I do think it's likely we'll sell off from sweeping these highs here into these lows. USD CAD, nothing high probability here, equal lows, equal highs, but because I'm bullish on DXY and this pair, CAD is relatively weak, right? We should see UCAD take out this high next, especially with how bullish the weekly candle closed as well, inverted the BPR. EJ as well had to from equal lows, so nothing for me here, but draw's obvious, right? Should take out this high next as the buy side target. These pairs are a skip. Aussie said this in one of the weekly outlooks, right? We had this deviation of the range highs, displaced lower, and then we sold off from this fair value gap, and we have these equal lows as the draw in liquidity, and we've eventually taken out these lows into this weekly fair value gap, also monthly fair value gap. So at this point, we can either turn bullish here, or we can continue selling off and invert these imbalances. Then we will come for these lows next. So nothing for me here. NZD as well, the weaker pair out of Aussie and NZD sold off from this fair value gap, so likely comes for these lows next. Euro odd, taking out these lows, and now we're starting to get a high time frame retracement. Likely comes back for this monthly fair value gap now after taking out this low and showing heavy bullishness now. So same thing on GBP odd as well, probably comes and rebalances some of these inefficiencies that I left on the move down. USD CHF, lots of trendline highs here, probably after inverting the speedy fair value up, comes and takes out some of the buy side here. Oil, I do think we're gonna come for these high time from equal highs sooner or later, respecting this volume imbalance on a weekly time frame, and a daily also in a range, but we're seeing this a push above the range highs now. So I do think we're gonna come for this high and then these high time frame highs eventually. Bitcoin, this one is the pair that actually looks somewhat interesting, but I do have a bit of doubts on it as well, right? Because as you can see, right, we're currently in high time frame bearish order flow on Bitcoin, and we have these high time frame equal lows, and you can consider this a daily market maker sell model, right? Accumulation, reaccumulation, small money reversal, low risk sell, and then the silver bullet redistribution phase, and now as you can see, if you use the bearish dealer range high, so if you even use the range high here to range low, this one actually, if you use this bearish dealer range high to dealer range low, we've tapped into the premium of the range, and we've taken out the buy side here, right? Range, so the range high is displaced lower, and at this point, this is a bit bait, right? We've had this weekly BPR, daily BPR, but at this point is a bit too obvious to short here. Price comes out, stops out the early shorts, and then this is the real move, right? Displaced lower for these daily fair value gaps, and then at this point pushes lower. We have these engineered highs on the 4-hour time frame, equal highs. Price comes out and runs them, and then we get a sell-off here. So at this point, after this weekly candle closure on Bitcoin, it does look like, to be honest, if we close above these upwards candles as well, it does look like we're gonna front run this monthly fair value gap, which I was waiting for price to tap into, and then look for a sell-off. But yeah, at this point, because we are in higher time and bearish order flow, same thing on as DXY, right? DXY left the weekly fair value gap, but because it's in higher time and bullish order flow with these equal highs, and we're seeing bullish displacement, DXY doesn't have to come for the weekly fair value gap anymore. Same with Bitcoin as well. it doesn't have to come from the monthly fair value gap because we're in bearish high time frame order flow with all of these equal lows here, and we've seen displacement after sweeping these highs into the premium of the range. So yeah, at this point, and we're in the market maker sell model, also AMD accumulation manipulation, and we should be distributed now. And at this point, because we respected the daily fair value gap and seen a new bearish dealing range form on a 4 hour, it doesn't really have to come for the daily the monthly fair value gap at this point, right? It could just sell off from here and come for these lows. But because I don't really because we're still in this range, right, I don't really want to short a retracement and then put my stops like up here, for example, just in case we continue chopping around and then eventually come for this monthly fair value gap. So I don't want to take any positions on Bitcoin, but in my opinion it does look like it's going to go lower from here, right? Because we've taken out all these 4 hour highs into this daily fair value gap and then seen a sell off and made a new low for this 4 hour fair value gap. So yeah, I do think we should see price come and sell off here and come back for the 50Ks. If we come all the way here, are we also going to come for these lows? I'm not too sure, to be honest. But yeah, Bitcoin, I'll just be a bit cautious because I was expecting price to tap the monthly fair value gap, or at least Ethereum to tap the monthly fair value gap and then see a sell-off. But as you can see, Ethereum also left perfect equal highs here. If you go on a 4 hour time frame, this high and this high, perfect equal highs, and this untapped weekly fair value gap. So yeah, logically it would make sense now for price to sell off and from this new OB, same with Bitcoin, form this new OB and daily fair value gap. So you don't want to see price to come back for this high. Same with Ethereum. If it comes all the way back up here, then it's likely we're going to come take out these highs again. So I'll just be cautious on Bitcoin and Ethereum. Gold, heavy sell off. This was the drawn liquidity for me, and now we've taken it out, seen a bullish reaction, and now price is starting to consolidate. So gold, skip for me as well. Silver, took out the lows, consolidating, so also a skip for me. High time frame draw's been hit, so nothing from me. A large overextension as well, so low probability to trade these pairs now. And then NQ has finally taken out these lows as I've been anticipating. Large displacement to take out these lows, so as well nothing to do on these pairs. I wouldn't trade them. Also trading at this weekly fair value gap. NQ's trading at this weekly fair value gap now, and also this monthly fair value gap. So because the trend on NQ is bullish, price can actually just continue to be bullish, and this could just be a high time frame retracement. It's a monthly fair value gap to go higher. So also the AMD concept, accumulation, manipulation, distribution. So if we flip bullish here and invert this daily fair value gap, then that would be a good sign to look for longs all the way and take out all of these trendline highs. But yeah, there wasn't really a clean intraday setup, but a swing setup was pretty clean, right? And I was considering to take this, and I was actually going to take this, but I didn't have enough time to take it. But on NQ, we've seen this massive manipulation Trump news push up higher and take out these 4 hour equal highs into this daily fair value gap, or sorry, not the daily fair value gap, but this daily order block, weekly volume imbalance, and then we have this 4 hour fair value gap as well. So on this day, the 19th of March, I was actually looking for a run higher to sweep this high and then look for a sell off, but we left equal highs. And then the Trump news came, pushed up higher and ran up these highs into the OTE of this range, right? OTE premium of the dealer range, and then we saw a sell off from this level. But yeah, I wanted to see price to come and take out this high one more time, right? Come up, accumulate, manipulate, take out the Monday highs, and then I would have taken a swing short above this high, a validation above here, and then my TP would have been these equal lows. I would have. That was my plan to swing short, but because we didn't get above these highs again, I didn't get that. And I was initially gonna take this short, but because it happened within a 1 minute candle, I didn't manage to get entry here as well either. Yeah, so 7 o'clock we just had this massive push up higher, and within this 10-minute period, this was the time to take the entry, and I wasn't looking at NQ at the time. I was focusing on the majors when this news event happened. So once I seen NQ headed into 9 a.m. 9:30 equity open, I was hoping we'd get another run of these highs, but we didn't get that right. We just chopped and then dropped lower, and then the rest of the week we dropped lower. And there was actually a clean hourly setup as well on NQ. I believe. Oh yeah, yep, it was right here. I can already see it. We had a sweep of this hourly high. I think it was a 4-hour Fair Value Gap, right? No, it wasn't. But we had this bearish order flow on the hourly time frame. We've had a sweep into that hourly sweep and equity open. So we've had a manipulation in equity open, ran out these 15-minute highs as well, and then we displaced lower and then inverted these up close candles, forming a bearish order block. So could have taken a short here, something like this, and validation at the high, and then TP all the way down here. This would have been a clean 2.5 hour setup. And then if you wanted to we wanted to hold, which I probably would have done as well, because if we take out this low, we're likely also going to take out this low. Then yeah, there's also would have been a 4-hour trade, so that would have been a very clean trade to take. But I did not see that setup. I seen it too late at this point on Thursday, and again I was too busy watching majors, so I did also miss the setup on NQ. So minor is what it is. But yeah, at this point, high time frame targets here on NQ, so this can do anything, right? You can consolidate, you can continue lower, invert this imbalance, and then come for these lows, or we can flip bullish here because again we're in premium of this. We're not in this kind of the range yet, but if you use this dealer range here, price can come in deeper and then turn bullish, or because we're in a range, we don't even need to come into the discount. We can just go higher from these range lows and this key level, and then turn bullish again as well, because the trend again is bullish on the higher time frame. So yeah, at this point, nothing to do on NQ or ES. High time frame targets here with large displacement, so I wouldn't short this as well because we are trading at deep discount of these dealer ranges. If you come into this daily fair value gap, then you can look for shorts again to these lows, but at this point it's not the most high probability, because then this is high resistant low as well. There's not equal lows here. Like, you see how easy it was for price to come and take out these lows because these are equal lows. Now there's not any equal lows here anymore. So again, not the most high probability, but yeah. Yeah, that's my outlook for all the pairs for next week, and then we'll just see how we'll just see if all the outlooks play out. And again, NFP week, so we'll take it slow heading into the second half of the week. First half of the week, we'll see if there's any opportunities. Holding my euro shorts as well. So if we're heading into NFP, we'll see how I manage to trade. If I close, if I even take a loss pre NFP, or if I hit TP or whatever, we'll see heading into NFP what euro and DXY is saying. So yeah.